Good evening. This is CTV News for Thursday, June 20th. I'm Gina Barty.
And I'm Patricia Malone. Thank you so much for joining us. After years of litigation, the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled that the Bladensburg Peace Cross can stay where it is. While the cross had wide support, the American Humanist Association said its presence on government-controlled land was a violation of the U.S. Constitution. Byron Scott has our story.
Everybody knows Peace Cross. So if you take it down, what is it?
The Bladensburg Peace Cross can stay. In a 7-2 decision, the High Court ruled that the cross's presence on public land does not violate the U.S. Constitution.
It's a landmark decision for the veterans, saving the Peace Cross, and also for religious rights in the United States.
The cross was erected nearly 100 years ago on what was then privately owned land. The intent was to honor the 49 Prince George's County residents who died during World War I. Decades later, the land was turned over to the state's National Capital Park and Planning Commission, but to many people, the cross is more historical than religious.
It is mostly a patriotic symbol.
Jolene Ivy represents Bladensburg on County Council.
It's called the Peace Cross. It's not called the Jesus Cross. And I believe that that is for a reason, that everybody knows that, and the people who live in this community are almost entirely in support of keeping it here.
In 2014, the American Humanist Association filed a lawsuit saying the cross violated the Constitution's Establishment Clause, which bars the government from endorsing one religion over another.
So the ruling is very limited.
We spoke with the attorney for the American Humanist Association during a phone conference.
Obviously, we are somewhat disappointed in the ruling today in that the cross is upheld. We're not necessarily surprised by the ruling given the questions and oral argument, but we are actually somewhat pleased by the ruling too in that it could have been a lot worse. Our opponents were arguing for basically the entire upheaval of Establishment Clause precedent as we know it.
The court's decision was limited in that it considered the context of when the cross was built and the idea that the Bladensburg symbol has become a historical symbol. Miller says the ruling does not overturn the overarching national precedent prohibiting state sponsorship of religious symbols.
To us, it's a war memorial, and that's all it was.
Many feel the same way.
It deserved to be hit. So I'm glad that they ruled. They had a good ruling because it deserved to be hit. It's history, military. I know the background on it.
Again, that decision came down 7-2, the only dissenters being Justices Sotomayor and Ginsburg. And so with today's Supreme Court decision, the Peace Cross on public land can now finally rest in peace. In Bladensburg, Byron Scott, CTV News.
Over the years, the cross has fallen into disrepair. The group Save the Peace Cross says it will begin a campaign to restore the memorial.
Meantime, County Executive Angela Alsobrooks tonight says she's pleased with the Supreme Court decision. She says the Peace Cross Memorial is a symbol to honor veterans and, quote, all those who have given their lives in service to our county, state, and nation. Meantime, Park and Planning Commission, which took legal action to keep the memorial, reacted to the High Court ruling.
I am elated with the decision of the Supreme Court today. We feel vindicated, and this monument, the Peace Cross, has stood there for 94 years as a tribute honoring the 49 fallen veterans of World War I who fought with courage, with valor to protect our freedoms.
The memorial was built in the 1920s. Well, it was a tragic morning for a logging crew after a tree falls and kills a man. Police say the incident happened in the 23,000 block of Neck Road in Aquasco around 7 this morning. A crew was cutting trees on farmland when one of the workers' chainsaws became stuck. As co-workers tried to help him, a tree crashed into him. He was pronounced dead on the scene.
Police arrest a man after they say he showed a gun during a road rage incident yesterday in Prince George's County. 26-year-old Thomas Edward Scott is facing first and second degree assault charges. Officers say Wednesday at about noon they received a call from the victim who was traveling northbound on Route 295. The victim claims that Scott pointed a handgun in his direction. Police were able to pull him over on I-695 where they searched Scott's car and found a loaded BB gun. If you have any information about this case, you're asked to contact authorities. A teenager loses his life at a dangerous intersection in Bowie, and now county officials are reportedly set to meet to determine what to do about Fairview Vista Drive and Church Road. 14-year-old Kamal Nasheed was, was jogging when he was tragically struck by a car at the intersection over the weekend. This follows years of complaints about traffic in the Church Road area. County officials take up the issue at a District 6 community meeting on June 29th.
Well, each year, more than 38,000 blood donations are needed across the country as many people require them to live. Well, here in Prince George's County, firefighters and police are joining forces to help. CTV's Melissa Wright has details.
20-year-old Caitlin Adams, a Morgan State University student, has battled sickle cell anemia since a child. But about a year ago, her health took a turn for the worse, leaving her in desperate need of a blood transfusion.
I receive blood every 3 weeks and a transfusion that 9 pints of blood. That the transfusion usually lasts about 3 to 4 hours.
Today, Caitlin is joining forces with the Red Cross, Prince George's County Police, and the Fire Department to urge people to attend the second annual Battle of the Badges, a battle that pits public safety officers against one another to see who can recruit the most blood donors from the community.
There are folks out there, as was said, every 2 seconds. They're in need of intervention. A lot of times that intervention means that they need blood. And without those 3 letters, which are the blood types, those people don't get the help that they need.
Last year, members of the Prince George's County Police Department and Fire Department, along with citizens, donated enough blood to help as many as 138 people. Officials from the Red Cross say about a month ago, they were just down to a 2-day supply of type O blood, which left them scrambling for donors.
And we don't think about donating blood until it hits close to home, whether it's us personally, our friends, family, neighbors, co-workers.
I'm not the only one that needs it. There's many people out there that are suffering from chronic illnesses.
Thank you, Melissa. Well, the fate of a local airport is up in the air. The owners of Freeway Airport in Bowie are reportedly looking to develop the property for residential housing. The County Council held a hearing on a bill this morning that would rezone the area for single-family homes. If approved, more than 600 new homes could be built in the area. About how, Councilmember Derek Davis is the sponsor of the bill.